I think it was really, really cool.
Wow.
Music performances can be funny.
Interesting and cool.
I liked how they could all play together in like one flow of music.
The guitar.
Best thing that happened in my life in school.
The Austin Jazz Workshop is conceived as a first strike against keeping kids out of gangs. Our primary goal is to get them involved in band, orchestra, and choir. When the Austin Jazz Workshop first started, we were only doing about 14 to 20 campuses a year. Our focus in those days was on specifically Title I schools with a majority of children in reduced or free lunch. As we continued on in our evolution, we got more funding and we expanded to do as many of the schools as we can. We're really trying to reach out to grades 3, 4, and 5 so that those kids will get excited about music, join band, join orchestra, join choir, and that will give them a hook to remain in school through graduation day. There's been a lot of appreciation programs in the schools for kids, for the symphony, for example. The lyric opera does tremendous work. There wasn't really anything for jazz, and so we wanted to approach it from that way, because when you're talking about jazz, you're talking about the history of America, you're talking about improvisation, you're talking about math skills. I mean, there's so many things that feed into this music. It's also part of their history, it's part of their American history. So it's really important from that point of view as well.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We send one person out ahead of time to meet with the music class, and that clinician rotates from year to year. So the kids might, you see one year they might see trumpet, and then they might see piano, they might see bass, they might see saxophone, they may see a vocalist. And whoever comes out gives the kids a little bit of a hands-on kind of a thing, so that they're not just sitting talking to these kids, but they're also getting them involved in making music. And of course we always make a pitch every time. We say, look, this is fun, maybe you should think about doing this. So that's contact number one. Then we come back out with a full group within that same week. And during that time, then of course the kids get to see how it all fits together, how that instrument that they saw in the room, how it interacts with the band, what its job is, and you know, how that music is formed.
Just the way you look
This dual approach is something that's new, and teachers tell us that months later the kids are still using the terminology that we introduce in the classes, which I think is tremendous because they only see us twice.
For the kids to see these instruments played as amazingly as they are, up close and personal, in this style, in this setting, on their home campus, is just incredible. And I think it's really good for them, both as students and as potential future musicians. And I think it can definitely, turn the tide for some of them as far as whether or not they do that.
We always add some humor, that's really important, reaching out to kids.
I am your father.
What are you doing? What? You've never seen a man with two masks on before?
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go!
When we come out to the schools, we are really trying to give kids a high-quality professional show. We're not trying to dumb it down for them at all. At the same time, we understand they don't really have a context necessarily for seeing a jazz performance, so we show them a little bit about audience etiquette, how you can applaud when somebody finishes an improvised solo and that sort of thing. And show them what it's like to be at a jazz show. We always do some bit of interaction in some way. We have some kind of participation where we bring them up or we go out to them. We really want to engage them, and our foremost message here is that music is fun. We want them to see that, so that when they get to that age, they go, oh, maybe I should do this. This would be fun. Really, it's a visual thing. I mean, when they come to the performance and they see Masumi playing drums, a Japanese woman, and they see a black man playing bass. And I mean, when they see these different ages and they see these different races playing together, it does send the message that anybody can do this stuff. You're not limited in any respect. We want to look like our audience.
The Austin Jazz Workshop brings to the kids, an idea of freedom of expression that's inherent in the style of jazz and music, and that's something which they might not necessarily get otherwise. To see these people who have worked hard on their instruments to gain the proficiency to be able to just extemporaneously play something in a wide range of emotions, I think it can be really inspiring for kids.
When kids are approaching middle school age, they are faced with a lot of choices all at once. It can be very overwhelming. And so when we come in and we say, look, here's a couple of ideas, and here's a couple of things that you could do. Band, orchestra, choir, get involved with these things. And you know what? It can actually turn into a career path. It might end up being something that you do your entire life. And then I always point to myself and say, look, this is what I do. This is my job. And do y'all know that this is my job right now? I'm working. I'm in their classroom. I say, you're in my office. Because this is what I do. And we perform and we tour and we record, and this is the kind of stuff that we do.
Thank you. I could do that all day. In fact, I do.
And there's nothing magic about it. Nobody waved a magic wand. We just, started at the 6th grade level. We're still doing it today. And these days, they get a real hit of things off the television, like American Idol, for example, where they just assume, oh, well, you just walk on stage and you're famous. It just happens, and it's magic, and it's like winning the lottery or something. And we're there to remind them, well, no, it's not really like winning the lottery. It's hard work. It's hard work, but it's fun. It's something that you have to get started yourself. It's a gift that you give yourself. So you have to work at it, and then once you work at it, and start doing it, then after a while, it starts to reward you. And you can always have fun with music.
I've been liking music for a long time, and I'm going to continue liking it.
I really like the bass. The drummer was really cool. The Austin Jazz Workshop is the best thing that happens in the school year.